for the people. And our crew was one sound mixer, depending on what day it was. It was a different person and a DP. And then the three of us, and that was it. And we shot at my dad's house.
Oh, did you pay gas? You get a percentage.
There was a lot of food on set.
But you get a big percentage when the movie. You get a percentage when the movie.
Yeah. What?
Yes, I would. When I started.
No way.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
With someone there and oh, okay.
Hi, thank you. How was improvisation used?
Most of the film was scripted, and then some scenes, I scripted the scenes that were more based in reality, if you want to call it that, and then the scenes that were more once you got into Genevieve's psychology, I sort of wrote a detailed outline, and a lot of those scenes we shot the first week, and then I went back and watched and decided I felt like they were too sprawling, and I wanted to do as many scenes as possible in one shot, so I wanted to make sure that the scenes didn't go on for too long, but I wanted them to feel natural and sort of breezy. So I watched those scenes, and we sort of went back and re-scripted them and parsed them down a little bit to make it tighter. So in the end, I'd say most of it was scripted. But we used improvisation to sort of define the scenes.
How old was Hamburger?
Kim?
You know, it's how old was the dog?
Really old.
14.
Yeah, an old dog.
14.
Do you guys have any other questions?
Yeah, I was wondering if you watched dailies while you were shooting, or did you just like power through and watch it?
I sort of powered through. I would watch playback of the scenes I was in. Like every few takes I would watch, or I'd ask Lawrence or Nundan, who's the DP, how I was doing. But no. No, did I?
Daily watching was not encouraged after certain reactions some of the actors had.
We couldn't afford it anymore.
Yeah, we couldn't afford hair and makeup, so we were very comfortable with our appearance as actors or want to be. So watching dailies was forbidden.
Yeah.
For actors.
As a producer, you could.
As a producer, I could watch the dailies.
Sophia, how do you feel about Robin? Do you like her?
I love Robin. I think that she's really genuine and honest, and the reason I made this character like someone from the South and someone who I just wanted Genevieve and Robin to be so different that the reason they were friends wasn't based on superficial things. It was based on some sort of unspoken shared connection, or maybe just because they were both in the same place. But I didn't want to be like, oh, we love the same music, and so let's hang out. And so I thought that was really important. But I think she's great, and I think she's really smart, and like quick, and I like her. I like how warm she is.
What was your inspiration for the character, for your character?
She was based on she's based on two real people that I know. One who babysat me who also worked at that diner that we shot a scene in, and then someone else who lived around there, and sort of combined the two people and imagining.
And I guess it's like a two-part question. So where was the person from? Were they
Virginia.
Virginia from Richmond?
Well, outside.
Yeah. I caught it in the film. They said something about Richmond, where she asked the question about.
Are you calling out people?
Oh, am I supposed to? Oh.
Whose job is that?
Visually speaking, selective focus and shallow depth of field played a big part in the look of this movie. I was just sort of curious as to your feelings, your thoughts about that as a look and how it played into what you were trying to do.
Was that a hand on the shoulder, like you want me to answer the question? It's okay, I don't need to talk.
No, I don't have to answer.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of it had to do with the camera that we had and the DP that we used. And I think Sophia was really drawn to Nandan because we had seen a movie that he did that we both really liked called Bummer Summer. It had a lot of long takes, and most of the shots were wide. But I think you liked the fact that you had seen him do this one take sort of movie. So, but then there were certain scenes where you wanted to be closer to the characters and more intimate, but not so wide. So then you have to deal with the narrow depth of field and a long close-up approach.
So it was not so much a stylistic choice as a reality of the equipment and.
I think it was probably a stylistic choice.
It was definitely a stylistic choice.
But he chose it, and I liked it.
Okay.
I mean, probably you could tie it into the psychology of the main character, but I didn't.
Are you talking specifically about the depth of field? Because you definitely wanted most of the scenes to play out in one take, and that was something you communicated with Nandan. So you're talking about the shallow depth of field.
Yeah, I'm talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did want him to play out one take. That I did.
So as an actor, did you enjoy directing yourself, and do you prefer to have someone else direct you?
It was actually, for a while when wrestling, it was totally easy, and then I remembered how hard it actually was. Like, I was so distracted, because, sometimes the camera would move, and I'd be really aware of where the camera was, and whether it was in the right place, and it was a really big challenge to sort of forget about all that while I was acting. I think I like being directed better, but I plan on doing both again, so it wasn't that bad, I guess.
Yeah, green is a color associated with jealousy, but the landscape also was very green. I wonder, how did you come about creating the title?
Lawrence came up with it. I think that's for those exact 2 reasons.
And also the sustainability theme.
Naturally.
So this is such a completely different movie than Gabby and the Roof in July. The fact that you mentioned When She Was Good, which was Philip Roth's second novel, and it's a complete departure from anything he ever did. Is that reflecting that you're more in your comfort zone working in the urban stuff, the urban sort of picture stuff, or is it just coincidence?
I'm sorry, I'm just having a really hard time with the fact that somebody intelligent that I don't know has seen both of our films. So it was a little hard for me to pay attention. What's going on? It sounded like a good question. Can you repeat it?
I'm asking which do you feel is more in your comfort zone? Because they're such different films. The fact that you spent that the Prelude goes so much into depth with When She Was Good, which was a complete departure from anything Philip Roth ever did. I was just wondering if you were talking about this film as a departure from natural style, or if it was just one project, another project, no connection.
Well, I think that, well, you should answer, but also I think that the reason they're different is because we're different people. No.
But I think we were aware. I think we were a little bit aware that the movie starts out in the old milieu and then moves into something more, a different sort of more laid back country kind of film. We were definitely aware of that. And I don't know why it occurred to you. I think the purpose of the scene is to set up their life before they go away. But it also was, to us, it seemed like, oh, we're moving from one film into another. So we were aware of it. I don't know if it was like, it wasn't like some meta statement where like, that was the old work, here's the new work. But like, it did occur to us after we had done it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look, it's like we moved from one style of film into another.
Thanks.
But yeah, they are, obviously this is her mental landscape. I meant that in a good way. Oh no, there was no reason we chose When She Was Good.
You and Alex, no, I hadn't even read Philip Roth at that point. I since have, but you and Alex just really got on a jag about that.
Well, she was like, well, I want you to be talking about a book that you know a lot about. The shape of the scene was that at some point I had to sort of put her down, you know, about something cultural, and I knew a lot about Philip Roth, and then we knew Alex knew a lot about Philip Roth, and we thought, oh, that's a good idea. We'll be two obnoxious guys talking about Philip Roth and put Kate down.
I'm sorry? Oh. You read the whole,
Oh, I've never read anything by Philip Roth.
The fall in the rocks that happened, was that planned?
And thank goodness Weston added that film. That was by accident. And I had a really hard time deciding if I wanted to put that in because I didn't want it to, Alex Perry told me to put it in. It wasn't in the cut I showed him, and then I showed it to him so that he could laugh at Kate falling, and he was like, you need to put that in.
That's right, that was Alex's idea.
I was nervous that it would seem like, oh, look at this funny thing that happened by accident. But I think it actually is really embarrassing and like says, yeah. But I think it says something. Like that's when that she starts to feel not included. So I think that's like.
I don't know, it makes me relate to her even more.
Yeah. You made yourself vulnerable. Do you want me to start saying something? Do you want me to start saying it?
That would make it seem like you were really good at like physical comedy. Not that you aren't. Annika?
Yeah, I was just curious about rehearsals. Did you guys rehearse before you went there? Did you rehearse at home? Did you like develop it through rehearsal?
We talked a lot about the characters. What do you want to talk about? We talked a lot about the characters. We didn't have much rehearsal time, but we did have a lot of, it's sort of a leisurely shooting schedule, and so we were able to actually film things and then refine them if we I think that you should. You want to say something?
Yeah, we talked about the characters for like many months because you were tossing around this idea. So that was like the way that we came to understand who these people were.
Oh, and Kate and I in general talked a lot about jealousy and our experiences with jealousy together just as friends. So I think in terms of those themes, we both understood kind of what we wanted to look at, which is just like crazy irrational jealousy. Talking about that now.
And then like because the set was so uncomplicated, it was really just 5 people, and there weren't many company moves or anything like that. We could shoot the scenes over and over again, and so like a lot of rehearsal was done on camera as we would refine the scene and get it to like Sophie liked.
So is the genesis of the project from you guys living together?
I think so.
I just talk.
Well, part living together and wanting to make a really uncomplicated movie with the 2 of these guys, and also part like, man, I'm a really jealous person. I should make a movie about that. Also, like, no movies are really reflecting that experience from like a female perspective. I think that'd be interesting. So those 2 things combined to make this to be the genesis of this movie.
How did you come to live together?
Well, Lawrence was my TA, and then we got engaged, and then I moved in with him.
Then we spent all our money on our first movie.
Yeah, the other side, which Kate has a part in. And then
How to leave our
we became friends with Kate through that. And then we had not enough money to afford to live alone. So then we lived with Kate. It's been over a year, and we're all still alive.
Congratulations. I have a question about the sound. It's so overpowering and fascinating to me, and I'm curious if you did that, if it was like live recorded where you were, did you do it before or after? Did you make that decision kind of before you started the film? Like, I want to have this like crazy music, or did that come afterwards? Did you try different ideas?
The music came halfway through when we started to think about the tone a little bit more. And we found that the composer Ernesto through the DP, who knew him and was working with him on another film, and he played me some of his music, and I thought it was really perfect for what I was looking for. And then the sound design, we had people recording, like Jared recorded a bunch of nature sounds, and then we sort of gave it all to Weston, who took it and did this really cool thing, in my opinion, which is like he made all the sounds really crisp and clear and sort of pretty in the beginning, and as Genevieve gets more and more jealous, the nature sounds themselves get more ominous. So he took them like, what did you do? Like just computers.
Well, I added a lot of kind of took those sounds themselves and morphed them, as well as sort of just adding a lot of low end to give it more of the ominous kind of feel to the whole thing. And it just kind of leading to a crescendo kind of at the end. It just seemed to feel really good.
It was great the way that you worked with the music. Like, the music was there, and then Weston also went into the vibe of the music and added other sounds and just sort of played off the music that was already there. I think it's a really nice sound mix, and really think it's
One of my favorite parts of the movie.
Thanks.
So far you've only talked about the fact that it's about jealousy, but I think there's also this whole like class and education thing that's maybe going on between the couple and Robin. I just wondered if that was what your thoughts were about that.
Yeah. I like.
I mean, like the Dalton reference is totally
Yeah.
intentional, right, for all of us who know what that.
Right. I guess I wanted. We talked a lot about class in their relationship, which I don't know if you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, class was part of the conversations that we're having for all three of the characters. I mean, in Kate and my relationship in the movie, the idea was that I was more upper class, wealthy person than she was. And how did you feel about that? I mean, what was?
Well, I think we talked a lot about the fact that it was important that there were certain divides and inequalities in the relationship to begin with that were sort of seeds that were growing and maybe reaching a crux right around the time that they moved out of the city.
Yeah. I feel like the way that I came to understand it was that your character felt overshadowed by my character because I was older, more had absorbed more culture, and also came from a wealthier background, so that you were sort of more timid and.
Right. And it was important that my relationship with Sophia's character was sort of a glimpse of my coming into my own in some way, which was eventually abandoned by me to be with this guy.
What are you guys going to do next?
Oh, this is a really good time to say. Do you want to say?
Yeah, sure. We have a bunch of stuff a bunch of scripts, but the next thing we're hoping to do is it's something that I'm directing. We came up with the story together. It's a road comedy. It's it's a romantic comedy, actually. It's what?
Oh, okay.
It's called. Anyway, yeah, and we're having a fundraiser for it. Is that what you wanted me to talk about? Oh yeah, we're having a fundraiser to raise money to do
It's
that
on
project.
Saturday night, and we have invitations if you guys want them. And it's a really good deal. The name of the party.
It's win-win.
It's really win-win.
It's a win-win
I'm
fundraiser.
really excited about this fundraiser. It's called Fuck Kickstarter. We're having a party, and it's $20 and it's open bar for 3 hours.
So that's a pretty good deal.
Is that a good deal?
Yeah. Right? We get to make a move. No.
No, they gave us a lot. Tito's Vodka donated a lot of vodka.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Say the info.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well,
Saturday night, 9:30 p.m. Come to us if you want an invitation. I'll tell you where if you come to us.
Her dad's office. I don't know the address. I don't have it memorized.
Also,
45 West 21st.
yeah.
Nice one.
That's from auditioning for Gabby on the Roof in July.
Whoa, that's crazy. That was like.
So 45 West 21st, 9:30?
Yeah.
9:30 Saturday. $20 open bar, dancing, DJ.
See you there.
What?
All of us will be there.
For our next movie. Oh, what floor? It's like Abbott and Costello. That's me and my mom. I don't know. What floor, Kate? 6.
Yep. It's all of us again, guys.
Are you switching roles?
Yeah. Finally, right now, it's like boyfriend girlfriend, or sort of.
Actually, we hate each other most of the movie.
Yeah. Like boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah. We're gonna go somewhere else after this.
Oh yeah,
too.
we're going to.
If you want to ask
Frank's
us
Lounge.
more
We
questions,
have a
because
lot
probably
more
some of you are
things to talk
bored.
about.
But for those of you who aren't,
If you like this movie, apparently it really helps if you Twitter about it, or like just like social media about it. Because we're trying to get someone to take it and make it play in more movie theaters, or even just on the internet, or just do something. Because this might be the last time I ever film.
No.
that's not true.
In New York.
In New York, maybe. Anyway, thanks for being here.
Wait, but
I just want to say that I think that your editing is fabulous. I thought the same thing about Gabby and Ruth in July. You really know how to shape a story, and the ending is so strong. It makes everything about the film resonate with you. It's so strong. It's empowering in a weird way, and it's sad, and it's beautiful.
oh, thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Pam. Oh, and go see all the other great movies that are playing here.